Hey everyone, and welcome to Conquer the Mirror Demon. And today we will talk about a topic that is so dear to my heart. That is the truth behind clutter. And my dear friends, Milson, I hope I say your last name correctly, my
It's
friend.
all good. Mason.
Mason.
Maison, like the jar.
Mason. Oh my God, so true. Is the speaker. So welcome. My name is Tanja Andersen, and I am your host on this amazing Christmas calendar live with some of my best friends that I look up to, that is a leader in my life that I always go to ask for support, that I also choose to do life with because it is so important we choose the people we do life with so that we can become the next version and the best version of who we was 5 minutes ago. And Mill is one of them in my life that I've known for a few years now, and she is why I choose Mill again, as you may have seen, she have been on here before, is because she is the expert about clutter. And clutter, as Mill know, have a dear place in my heart that I know that is the key that everyone gets to choose in that transformation. And there is the thing most people is missing to transform into the next level of who they are, the true identity, the next level of leadership. Because clutter, as Mel will share about, is holding us back. Because clutter have a memory to a past, to trauma, to past experience. And when we choose it around us, we choose to live in the past. So Mel is the expert to really get that out. And when we choose clutter in our home, we also choose clutter in our finance, in relationships, like all over the place in our lives. So Mel, welcome, and please share a little bit about the amazing expert as you are.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. I just adore you and I just love being on this journey with you. I love how God brought us together, and just that we get to continually be in each other's lives. So just thank you for putting these on. I know the work that goes into putting these summits on. So thank you for all of your hard work to bring us all together to share all of these amazing experts with people. So just thank you for who you be and how you show up in the world and how you're constantly always taking yourself on to the next level, never stagnating, right? So you're leading by example. So I honor you and kudos to you. And just
Thank
thank
you.
you for this opportunity. Welcome, Jamila. See you. Got someone else coming on. Would love to see your faces.
Yes,
Love to have
please.
you on camera with us and interacting. As Tanya said, I am Mel Mason, the clutter expert. And when I say the clutter expert, the reason why I say I'm the clutter expert is because I figured out how to get to the clutter at the root so that it doesn't keep coming back. And when you hear the word clutter, most people want to think about all of the piles that have accumulated, maybe the drawers that are a little overstuffed, or maybe you have that car that you can't park in the garage, right? But what I want to share with you is that is just an external manifestation of an internal condition. Because the outside, whatever's going on first in your body, then in your environment, and then in your relationships, whatever you're seeing, whatever's reflecting back to you, is simply a mirror of what's going on within. And so if you want lasting change in any of those areas, it has to start from the inside out. We're all familiar with the law of gravity, right? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have to believe in gravity for it to work? No. Try jumping off a building without a parachute. Right. Okay, so that is not the only law in operation in the universe. There's many, but the one that is important for you to understand today is the principle of correspondence. Okay? The principle of correspondence. And it states, as above, so below, or that translates to as within, so without. Okay? So we as human beings, We cannot see ourselves. We need a reflection. We are literally sitting inside of a glass jar, the mason jar, right? Trying to read the label from the inside out. Doesn't work very well. So God created this reflection back to us, our body, our environment, and our relationships. And we either can look at the reflection that we're getting and get all victimy and blamey and start projecting that reflection onto somebody else and pointing the finger, right? How many point the finger and blame others, right? You don't do this, you don't do that. Or you can take a look at that reflection and start shifting the inside so what's reflecting changes. So I'm here to disrupt the story that you know about clutter and teach you the truth of it. That's what I'm here for, Tanya. Take it back to you.
Oh my God, I just love that. And Mel, tell us about, you did share a little bit about like, why is this topic so important to you? Like the truth about clutter, like why is that so important for you to talk about?
Yeah, so I didn't get my name by accident. I don't just sit up here teaching a bunch of stuff that I went to school to learn. I was the cluttered mess, right? When I was growing up, you couldn't walk in my room. Now, most people would have little pathways, like people that would be classified as hoarders. I don't label anybody anything, but when you think of that term, you think of like narrow pathways that people walk through, right? And stuff falling over. But there was no pathway on my floor. Now, granted, I was younger, so I didn't have years and years of accumulation, but you could not walk on my floor. If you were coming into my bedroom, you better have a life insurance policy because you were taking your life in your own hands, right? Now, every once in a while, my mom would get pissed off enough that she would go ahead and clean it. And she would do such an amazing job. And it would look great. But what would inevitably happen?
Mm.
It would just go right back to the way that it was. And what I didn't realize at the time is what I just told you about, the principle of correspondence. I didn't get that my outside was just a reflection of my inside. Because on the inside, I was littered with clutter, what I call the inner clutter. Now, I'm going to give you a little caveat here. If you're a human being, anybody not human? Okay, we're all human, right? If you're a human being and you were born onto this earth, you have clutter. It just might not show up as physical clutter, right? What is this internal clutter? It is all of the unprocessed emotions from events that we experience in our lives that we don't know how to handle. And it doesn't have to be a big traumatic event. Your mom could have been late picking you up from school one day, right? So you don't have to have some big hairy trauma. It is the emotions that get stuck that we don't know how to process because emotions are energy in motion. So that means they need to stay in motion. When we can't allow ourselves or our environment doesn't allow us to experience our experience, those emotions get stuck and they become inner clutter. What else is this inner clutter? It is the limiting beliefs and the stories that we make up about ourselves from those events that happen in our lives, right? So an event happens, an experience happens, and then we make up a story about it. So my mom doesn't pick me up from school one day, and I make up the story that I don't matter, right? Well, that story becomes a belief that becomes my programming, right? Because our beliefs are our computer programming. We operate on our beliefs. Our beliefs are what drive everything, right? We have beliefs that work and beliefs that don't work, right? So we make up these stories about things and that belief. So there's beliefs that are limiting. And so it's the limiting beliefs that become the inner clutter. What else is this inner clutter? It's the resentments that we accumulate from events that happen to us. We get wronged by someone and we want to seek vengeance. We want to get payback, whatever. I mean, my dad carried a resentment for over 20 years and he like took vengeance out on it. And then years later, he wound up needing triple bypass surgery. Okay. That's what resentments do, right? So it's resentments and it's fears that keep us from living the life that we're called to live, right? And it's all the judgments about people and things, right? So this internal clutter is of stuck emotions, it's limiting beliefs, it's resentments, fears, and judgments. All of this stuff gets stuck. And the way that God designed us is to have this reflection so we can see ourselves. So whatever starts showing up in your environment, whether it's physical clutter, whether you might be carrying extra weight on your body or having illnesses in your body, symptoms in your body, whether it's relationships, you're pointing the finger at somebody, you don't give me enough attention, you don't take care of me, you're not nice to me, you're a jerk, you're a this, you're a that. Whatever you're seeing in somebody else is in you, right? Or whether it's how many people are too busy. I'm just too busy. I don't have enough time, right? That's another way that this internal clutter will show up.
Yeah.
Or the debt cycle. You get into debt, you get out of debt. You get into debt, you get out of debt. Or how about those intimate relationships that become unhealthy, right? You get out of one and you think you're getting into a new relationship, only it's the same relationship, just a different face, right? So this internal clutter will show up in many different ways, not just the stuff. And the reason why all of this stuff accumulates is really for one simple reason. If you want to boil it down to its simplest, easiest term, it all accumulates from an unwillingness to look. It's like, nope, don't want to see you. I don't know what to do with you. I don't want to deal with it. I'm not going to look at the piles. I'm not going to look at what I'm putting in my mouth. I'm not going to look at my bank accounts. I'm not going to look at my relationship. I'm not going to look at my schedule. I don't want to look. So it really boils down to unwillingness. Okay? And so the secret to getting free from every manifestation of clutter in your life begins with the willingness to look. But look where? Because if you start from the outside, like I did, what my mom did, right? The clutter just comes back, right? So going from the outside in doesn't work. Go on that fad diet, what happens? The weight comes back, right? One relationship, new relationship, out of debt, into debt. The manifestations will come back if you're going from the outside in. So if you're unwilling to look at what's going on out here, what that really means is you're just unwilling to look within. And so the secret to getting free from every manifestation of clutter in your life is the willingness to look within. And that's the secret sauce. Oh, you're muted, Tanya.
It is a so good point, like everything in life is a mirror, and there's nothing wrong and right in it. It's just a mirror into what we get to work on. And it is just so interesting. We can have so many point of view, what is clutter and how we get to work with clutter. As you know of Milk, with my story is that when I really get connected with why clutter and really step into that and do the work with clutter is so critical for our transformation to create the life that we wish and are hoping to create, that is just living in the past and just being a victim by our own actions. By really choosing our transformation, by really choosing living life, is also doing the clutter work. And when I was close to take my own life in 2018, that I have moved from place to place to place, I was, as you know, like praying my lungs out for a sign to do something, because I promised my mom to do everything and stand my power to choose to live my life, like find the way or create the way for me to choose life that did not want my life. And I was on the hospital with her, and I promised her there. The sign I get or the voice I get was sell everything. And I get so freaking mad with myself. Like, that is something fucking stupid. Like, I will not sell everything I own. Going from so sad and crying and to get so pissed and angry at myself, like, that was something stupid. Like, that sign, I will not have that sign. Like, that is not me. I don't do that. And a few hours after, I said, okay, you ask for signs, you get to act because you are a believer in signs. And when I get the sign, it was just so crazy because I was looking out of the sky and just asked for something. Like in the moment, it was silence, and it was so clear in my mind. I just get goosebumps. I don't like sell everything, and it was just silence. Like, where does that come from? I chose to sell everything I own. Took me 8 months to get out of everything, like every furniture, everything in my home, where I only had six plastic boxes left, one bag, my clothes to my bird on my car. That act was the act that saved my life, was the act for me to set myself free, because in each piece of my clothes was from trauma when I was running to a safety house for women, when I get beat up by my ex-boyfriend. It was trauma from a pusher. It was trauma from all the bad relationship, and I choose to take it on my skin, as I choose to have in my awareness. So every time I was around it, it was always behind my brain, remind me about I get to live in the past because I have things in my home from the past. I take things on my body that was trauma. So I was stuck in that life. When I chose to let go of that, I set myself free with breathing and thinking clear and making a stronger decision, and was so determined for make the last thing happen. And it changed my life to really knowing what does it mean to love myself. What does it mean to love myself for everything that happened in life? Like every violence I did to myself with what I eat, what I choose, the violence I hurt my own body, like I did horrible stuff to myself to set myself, like getting away from all the suffering and the pain, and it was all over me. When I chose to let that go, like the clutter, everything, I could breathe for the first time in my life.
Mm.
So choose that element, the clutter, to you guys out there, no matter where you are. It is so critical for your transformation to really reach out to Mill to do the work with clutter, because it is so critical, because so many things in our home, as in our relationship, it is stuck to something in the past. And if you have attachments, like I will not let go, like I will not let go of this pen because this pen I get from my mom, it means the world to me, I will not fucking let go. You are attachment to fear, and that's thing as the pen you're attached to, you will never experience life because you are attached to something that is connected to fear or hoping, wishing for something that is no reality or nothing with the truth. So we get to be okay with to let it go of everything. That is my point of view, only the point where you will set yourself free, when you're okay to let go of all your stuff and having the forgiveness to yourself to let go of that things, and don't judge yourself, or what will my mom say when I let go of this? What will my sister say when I let go of this? Like, what would you think when I have nothing in my home and change home? That is the way we sometimes life get to go. If it's not working for you where you are right now, you get to choose to declutter, because it is the elements that will move you forwards, and you will be rewarded by using the clutter tools that you will learn from it. So I speak very highly about clutter work. Is so needed in so many lives, so that they can be who they are and be the word. And also say, if a person say they're too busy, like that freak me sometimes a little bit out, nerd part there, because just it is a choice. You choose what is important to you. Stop to excuse by your lifestyle choices. Just be damn, I choose that because I choose it. That's it. Stop with coming with excuses. That is also a sign that you have clutter in your home, because you're not honest with yourself. I choose it because this was important, and stop to say sorry for you not choosing a relationship or coming back to a relationship or whatever you are excusing for. Say, I'm too busy to get back to you. So yeah.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing, Tanya. Like, I love your vulnerability. I love your willingness and your openness to share. And, for your listeners out there, it's like, people, when they think of clutter, they think of the stuff, but it's not even just the other things that I was mentioning. Like, anytime you want to hit a result in your life, you have a goal and you don't hit it, like, there's inner clutter there that's in the way, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, our conscious beliefs are only like like 20% we know, right? So imagine an iceberg, right? We only see the tip of an iceberg. The rest of it's underwater.
Yeah.
And so when we go to hit that result in our business or our life and we don't hit it, that we see that, oh, there's something else going on. Because if you say you want to hit X, but
Yeah.
your result is Y and not X, that just shows that there's something else going on because you didn't hit X, right?
Yeah.
So what is really in the way, and there's a limiting belief around your worthiness or your ability to do something that's really getting in the way of you hitting that result. And so the reason why I even launched my business isn't just about the clutter, right? Like that's the door that people come through me with to me through. But like my whole premise is that it's your birthright
Mm.
to thrive in every area of your life. And if you're not, if your health is failing, if your relationships aren't a 10 out of 10, if your career or your business isn't thriving in a 10 out of 10, if your spiritual life isn't a 10 out of 10, if you're all of the areas of your life, if they're not a 10 out of 10, there's clutter.
Oh, yes. It is. That is so true. And like to dig in clutter, like one of the things that was so challenged me sometimes was a bit of a hot moment, I was too hot to handle, to be honest with myself, by what is in the way, because what is in the way for me to break through of the clutter, whatever that is, it is a hot moment sometimes to say, oh, that is in the way. And that's why it's also so important we have people in a home. Like I know I can always go to you, Mill, and say whatever that is on my heart, just get it out there, and you will never judge me by the wording I'm choosing or by the action I'm choosing, because you see me as a being. You're seeing me right now. You don't see me as a past. That is also one of the things I just love about you. And sometimes it is freaking uncomfortable because you are telling the truth, and sometimes like, oh, I need 5 minutes for myself because I have a huge correction in myself right now. I just like, oh, get breathe through this like reality.
Mm.
And that is the power with you. You are like, you're not afraid to tell the truth and call people out with so much love and empathy,
We
because
call
really
people forward. We don't call them out.
call
We
them
call them
forward.
forward.
Call them forward into the lights, because calling a person forward into lights, it is really true love. Like that is really to really love someone, and not be afraid to call a person out, no matter what the outcome will be.
Yeah, standing for their best version, like always seeing people in their highest version. And Shannon, thanks for dropping in the chat. I'm glad you're really enjoying this. I'd love to hear what your biggest takeaways are in the chat. Like what's landing for you? That would be amazing. And if anybody else wants to drop in the chat, like what's landing for you? What are you hearing us say as we're talking about this? Because I'm sure you came here hearing about the truth about clutter and you're thinking about how to organize stuff, how to get through the overwhelm and not feel frustrated anymore, or where to start and how to start. And this
Oh
conversation
my
isn't
God, yeah.
going there.
Oh my God, so true. Like how to start with clutter. Oh my God, that is like when I start with clutter, just like I start with the simple things, the most easy thing, and we are digging the big things. And sometimes like I'm taking the stone. I'm taking the mountain first, so it's depend about like where I start. I'm just jumping out. Like also you say like jumping out of the cliff without parachute, just like jump and you will create the way how to unfold that beautiful wings that is there. You're
Yes.
also welcome to ask Miller questions, so that if you have a question that is popping up in you, please answer that in the chat so that Miller can answer that.
Yeah,
Uh,
love that, Shannon. So what is showing, what's landing for Shannon is what is showing on the outside is starting from the inside. So yes, we get to clean house. But what I hear you saying is clean our own spirit first. Yes, if you want the lasting results, it gets to happen from the inside out. I mean, just think about, what Gandhi says, right? Be the change you wish to see, right? You
yeah,
have to be it first. And when you be it, the outside shifts, right? People are like, always come to me, how do I get my husband to organize, or how do I get my wife to organize, or how do I get my kids to clean their room, right? That's one of the most common things people say, and I say, you do the work, and when you shift, they'll shift. And I was working with a
yeah.
client, we were working together for about a year, and I think about 7 months in, she messaged me and she sent me a text message. She's like, my daughter just started cleaning her room, like just started cleaning her room. I was like, This is what happens. And here's the beautiful thing too, is that, for those of you that have, tried to get organized in the past or gone on the diets or done all the things to change the external manifestations, when you do it from the outside in, there's always this struggle. There's always
Yeah,
this like, oh, I gotta do it. It's all this heaviness, right? It's like
yeah,
trying to get molasses to go uphill in the middle of January, right?
yeah.
But
The
here's the
the
thing.
fixed mindset.
Yeah, but when you start from the inside out, what's so magical is that it starts to happen unconsciously and spontaneously. If you follow me on Facebook, just go to Mel Mason, the clutter expert on Facebook. I literally just posted a video from my mastermind yesterday. One of my clients is just like, "Oh, I just came home and started organizing, and I didn't even know I was doing it. I didn't even realize I was doing it. It happens spontaneously and effortlessly. There's no forcing it anymore. There's no driving yourself to do it. My clients actually call it that Mel thing is happening. The spontaneous decluttering is happening in their lives. So go check it out on Facebook. You can see it for yourself.
I believe like when we have this conversation, like there's so many ways how to choose clutter. Like when you share your story, how you work with it and how I work with it. For what I see also too out there, there's no right and wrong. You just get to choose and you will create the way what is fitting in your style of
Yes.
personality. And because some people get to take it small steps, some people just like, we are taking the mountain. So it's depend upon where you are, what style you are, what energy you have, and also like, are you willing to pay the price to let go of stuff? Because there's always price to pay to let go of stuff. Like when I chose to let go of my father's furniture because I have a lot of things from my dad when he chose to take his own life in 2006. Like I get a lot of furniture from him and kitchen gear and small stuff. Like I only have like a handful stuff, like the things back from my dad, and only one furniture. And when I chose to let go of that, it was so freaking painful because my brain was saying, if I chose to let go of this furniture, I will let go of my dad. I will let go
Mm.
of my spirit of my dad. I will let go of the memory of my dad. I cannot touch it anymore. Now I get to think about it. And I was like, okay, I will just look at that another day. It is okay. It is what it is. It is a little bit hard moment for me to face it. And day by day, when I choose the easy thing to let it go of, like sell it, donate, give it away, or throw it out, that I was in the last end okay with facing. And I was facing the furniture and say, thank you for everything. I love you. Like I had a conversation with each object in my home to really like having a clearing conversation. And I let it go of it with love and empathy because I know my dad will always be in my body because I'm a part of my dad, like my body, my
Yeah,
soul, my
exactly. So what
spirit.
is it true? Is it true that you lost his memory?
No, no, never.
Exactly, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I love that you brought this up and you and I share, suicide in our past and when my brother committed suicide, I was 15 years old and I was the cluttered mess at 15 years old. I was still you couldn't walk in my room at that point. And when my brother committed suicide, he left everything he owned to me. And so at 15 years old, I had to go through his apartment and like decide on everything, what I was keeping, what I was letting go, who could have what, and all the things at 15 years old. And I was in a really bad place in my life. So I've had many of the manifestations of clutter, right? We didn't go into this. I don't go into it all the time, but I was not only didn't have, I didn't just have clutter. I was a crack cocaine addict, crystal meth addict. I was homeless. I was in a toxic relationship. I was overweight. I was in debt. Like I had all the manifestations, right? And so in my crack using days, I sold all my brother's stuff for crack money. And to this day, I don't have anything from him. I don't have any physical item. I don't have his obituary. I don't have a physical picture of him. I have some digital one that I found on Facebook from my stepmom's like stuff. But like I let go of everything at a really young age and I didn't let go of it in the best way, but I will tell you that I never needed any of those items to still have a relationship with him, to still feel like he was with me. And I'm so grateful that I didn't have to lug all of that stuff with me over the years. It's so freeing to not lug all that stuff. So for those of you that have your loved ones' belongings that have been left to you, like I promise you that when you let them go, you're not going to lose their memory. They're not going to be any less to you. You're not going to forget them because they're not in the thing. They're in you, like Tanya said.
Yeah, so strong. And some other thing, like, if it was a hard moment for me to forgive myself or connect with my dad. There was an exercise that I called burn it, like burn the shit. I like
Burn the
to say,
ship.
burn the shit.
Burn the
Uh,
ship. Let's go.
it is also like, if it is challenged for you to connect with a person, or if the person is not there anymore in your life, or whatever, that kind of attachment you have to the thing, to take it and burn it, like literally burn it, and you see the flame consume it and it's getting up in flame. In that moment, like, forgiveness, it happening on a so deep level, because you are like the element of fire, like when you look at nature, the element of fire get to be there, like in Australia, so that new growth can happen. That is the same with our own self. Sometimes we get to burn like paper, things, stuff. Please burn things that's healthy for the environment when it goes to the flame, just to know you.
Yes, we do get to have our prescribed burns.
So
Yes,
yeah,
so
of
important.
course, of course. When you see the flame consume it and let it go, in that process, you really connect with the power in how powerful a flame is, because you are the flame, and you choose forgive yourself in that when you see like everything away. And trust me, it is so powerful. You can also take a paper when you declare your home, write everything down, like all your emotions, because I was a hot mess with my emotion. Like, I was crying every day. I was doing self-harm to myself there, and it was not fun for me, to be honest, to turn my life around, to not want it, to want it on so short period of time, that I choose to write everything down on a paper. I crush it down and I burn it outside to see the flame, so that I chose to let it go off, to see it like get up in there, like forgive myself for it.
Yeah.
So it is a powerful tool to use when you choose to declutter whatever you choose to declutter. Also, you as a self-deployer entrepreneur, like, we have notes, like we have so many notes, just like me. Sometimes now we get to take things that is like on a to-do list, just say fuck it, take a line, squash it, burn it, and begin from the beginning and learn from how do you work with your notes, how do you work with your information you're writing down. Because to have it, to store it as a to-do, my mind is just clutter, 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 and it's nothing good for our mindset, or as us as a leader for someone else, in my point of view.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So guys, what questions is coming up to you, please ask Mel. You have her live, she is here to support you. Whatever that's popping up, please get in the chat so that she can answer the questions.
Yeah, and welcome to those of you that have just joined. So good to
Yeah,
see
welcome.
you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. You probably, those of you who just joined, just missed out that, you probably came here to learn like how to manage overwhelm and learn how to start and all the things that you think of when you think of clutter. But I talk about the truth about clutter, and that is that the outside is simply just a mirror of the inside. And if you don't get
Yeah,
to the root, if you don't clear the internal clutter, no matter what you do on the outside, it's always going to come back, right? The
yeah,
clutter comes back, the weight comes back, the debt comes back, the unhealthy relationship comes back. Whatever manifestation of clutter that you experience in your life, because it's not just the stuff, will come back. And so the secret, the lasting solution is to start from the inside out. And that's what we're
yeah,
talking about today.
yeah.
So
I
super
I
excited
had
for those of you that are here.
one of the
How do you handle
questions.
the overwhelm? Great question, Amy. Great question. How do you handle the overwhelm? Because overwhelm is always going to come up, right?
Oh
Even
my
I
God.
can walk into a situation and feel overwhelmed, right?
Yeah,
So the solution to overwhelm is first acknowledgement. It's like, oh,
yeah,
here I am feeling overwhelmed. You get to acknowledge what you're feeling, right?
yeah,
Give it the space, allow yourself to experience it. And then the solution is to get into small committed action. What's the next smallest step you can take? Whatever that is. And the minute that you get into committed action, the overwhelm dissipates.
mm,
It's like, what's the smallest step I can take? What's one thing I can grab? What's one dish I can do? What's one thing I can do? One little thing I can do, right? And if you want to come off mute, just come off mute. We're a small enough group. I'd rather just hear your voice. Come off mute.
I,
remember
I was
you
just
coming
saying
on
that's what
live.
I said, baby steps.
Yeah,
Just
it's all you
baby
can.
steps.
Yes.
That's how I have
Very
to
small.
do like the kitchen, like my dishes. I'll
Oh my
I'll
God.
unload the dishwasher and then I'll come back to it and then I'll wash this
Yep.
and then I'll come back to
Yep.
it and then I'll do the stuff that's like nasty, the stuff that we cooked in and like I'll save those for last. Like I kind of do it in
Yeah.
increments. But I always
Yeah.
like beat myself up because I'm not getting it done. So I'm glad that you're telling me about baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah. Baby
Look,
steps
I
and
still got
start
my
with what's.
apron on.
I was like hoping, I'm like, I saw your apron. I'm like, what do you, I want to be like, what are you cooking? I'm hungry. Like, I want to come over and eat, right? But yeah, baby steps and start with what's easiest first.
Yeah.
We have the tendency to set ourselves up for a failure and trying to tackle the hardest things first.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the easiest, smallest action step you can take? Because it's like overwhelm is going to freeze you, and overwhelm is in the future. You're
Yeah.
worrying about the future, right? So we want to get you into the present, right? And so it's simply what's the smallest, easiest step I can take right now? And it doesn't even have to be related to what you're overwhelmed about. It's getting into committed action, period. So the solution for overwhelm is first acknowledge. It's like, there you are, overwhelm. I see you. Okay. I give you permission. Like, I'm not going to resist you, because if I resist it, right, it's like, don't want to see you. That's how clutter accumulates, right? So we want
Yeah.
to acknowledge and give it the space. And then from that place of acknowledgement, you'll already notice that it starts to dissipate from your acknowledgement of it, because it's when we resist it that it even gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So you acknowledge it. And then what is the smallest committed action step I can take right now? What can I do right now to get into some form of committed action, whatever it is? If it's washing one dish or putting one dish away or folding one piece of clothing or, whatever, making one healthy smoothie or whatever it is for your manifestation of clutter, even if it's not, just what's one small committed action step you can take? Great
That's a good
question.
one.
Great question. Yeah.
I often get this here for some people. You may also get this, Mel, is like when we choose to let go of object in our home, some people is so good to like, I will buy some new things or I will get some new stuff to stuff it out again so that I can relax. So what is
That's when you
your,
start from the outside in, right? But here's the thing, when you start from the inside out, here's what's really happening, right? On an energetic level, when you begin from the inside out, because the outside is simply a mirror, we talked about the principle of correspondence. The
yeah,
outside, as above, so below, as within, so without, right? So as you begin to become willing to look, it's literally the willingness only. You don't need to go in and dig. You don't need to know what your trauma is. You don't need to go dig up anything. You don't need to know anything. It simply starts from the willingness to look. But when you're willing to look, right, what we're actually doing is you're raising your vibration, because right now you're a vibrational match to whatever manifestation of clutter is in your life, right? And every time you become willing to look, what you're doing is you're raising your vibrational frequency little by little. Because if you want to look at it on an analytical view for my analyzers out there, right? Let's look at the inner clutter is the negative pole, right? It's the lower frequency vibration. So it's not right, wrong, good, or bad. We're just going to call it the negative pole. And the willingness is the positive pole, right? And what happens in math class when we bring a positive and a negative together? They cancel each other out. So as you become willing, just that power of your willingness to be present for your own experience, you begin to create this energetic space in you. And because of the law, the principle of correspondence, when you create space within, the outside has to match. It's law. That's why my clients say that melting is happening. The spontaneous decluttering starts happening
will is
because
happening.
your outside has to match your inside. And that's when it's no longer forced. You're not dragging yourself to do it. You actually do it unconsciously and then realize you did it later. Like, oh, I can't believe I just organized that junk drawer. I can't believe I just cleaned up after myself. I can't believe I just emptied the dishwasher. I can't believe I just decided to work out. Like I never work out. Like I just did a workout, right? Whatever the manifestation is, it happens in micro steps, spontaneously and effortlessly.
That's so good. I like what is really coming to me is also like depend about what is your why do we choose declutter your home? Like how Mill was choosing declutter, as I see it, was a little bit different compared to me because there was like die or survive, but literally in my life. So I make a decision that I get to let go of everything. And I only have 6 place books and I only choose to fill out the 6 place book. Everything else gets to be gone. So that was my decision. So that was like for me outside and in work I did because I was so desperate to change my life. And it get to be now because I was playing with a knife on my throat many days. So I was like, I get to make a push. So that was
Yeah.
my choice. Why I chose the clutter was die or live actions my
Yeah.
life. And what I really saw was when I choose to have the conversation with each things that I choose, like Mel also have that, like she have 100% question you can ask yourself, how you have a conversation with the things step by step. It is so powerful when you have like, when you sit in front of the things and have a conversation with it, because with me, it was unlocking some things that I get to work on so that I know what to work on, because each thing I chose to let go of was unlocking something in my mind. And I know from my educations behind that our brain only open up for things when we have the tools to face it. So congratulations out there. If you have a lot of challenges in life, you have the resource to face it, because your brain will never open up for things if you don't have right now in this moment the resource to create a solution for it. Because if the brain pop up with some things that is a very hot moment for you to be in, to create, to face, literally you would die. Like when you look at the savannah, like if you put a gazelle on a savannah with a lion, the gazelle is not like think about like I get to go to right because that is the right choice. No, the gazelle is locked in and only going one way because the gazelle will survive. So your brain is open up for things with your focus and the things in your life when you have the tools to face it. So congratulations if you have a lot of things in your life, because you are just up level yourself to next level.
Yeah, and I want to say, like also, like, yeah, I love what you're saying because God, God is never going to give you more than you can handle.
Yeah,
So you'll
exactly.
never be given more than you can handle. But I also want to say, like, Tanya and I have two totally different stories. I actually didn't plan on getting organized, and this is why what I teach is so powerful, is because it actually happened by accident for me. So I didn't care about getting organized because at that point in my life, I just wanted to die. Like the last thing I wanted to do was clean my room, right? And so it wasn't even on my radar to get organized. And through a series of life events, after my brother committed suicide, I was sent to go live in a residential treatment center for adolescents for a year and a half of my life. And I was introduced to yoga and mindfulness at that point in my life. And so I basically learned the willingness to look. And I became willing to look and be present for my own experience. And what happened was within a year's time, unconsciously by accident, I never made a schedule. I never said, oh, I'm going to clean my room on this day or I really should get organized. It happened unconsciously and spontaneously for me that I went from that kid who you could not walk on my floor without breaking your neck to someone who needed to have order. Everything needed a place and everything needed to be in its place. Okay. But what I'm going to share with you is I did not let go of all of my attachments at once. And as the clutter expert, I still have attachments. It doesn't mean I don't. Like it was just 3 years ago that I let go of some books that I'd been hanging on to since 1998.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I don't have a lot of stuff. Like all of my stuff fits in a smaller than a 4x10 storage unit. Okay. I just moved to Phoenix and it's even less than what it was. It was in a 4x10 storage unit. Now it's even less. But it comes from the willingness to look over and over and over again that you will start to let go of the things. But
Yeah.
what's going to happen first is the need to have order, because we are in divine order. Like if we're out of order, it's chaotic. The first thing we want when we're in clarity, when we're creating the space, is order. So you're not going to let go of everything all at once. And so what I want you to know is that it's not about what you let go of and what you keep. It really is about your willingness to look and make decisions. So it doesn't matter the decision. It just matters that you're willing to look. I work with my clients all the time and we have the 5-second decision process, because oftentimes people get stuck, right? oh my gosh, then what do I do with this? I don't know. And they're just, it bottlenecks you, right? So it's like if you haven't made a decision in 5 seconds, just keep it for now. There's no judgment. It's about you becoming willing to look and
Yeah.
make a decision. And what you'll find is simply by your willingness to look that you will let go of 30 to 60% without even trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
never, 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 never force yourself to let go of something you're not ready to let go of. Because here's the truth. You will let go of what you're ready to let go of
Yeah.
when you're ready to let go of it and not a moment sooner.
Yeah.
So important. So important. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tammy, it's great. The 5 second decision, it just stops the bottleneck and it keeps you moving, right? It just keeps you moving. I have my clients work in literally a cubic foot area at a time, one item at a time. And by doing this process and only using the 5 second decision, unless it's paper and you have to read the whole thing, right? That takes a little longer. There are some exceptions, but it's just a general, like if you're stuck on something for more than 5 seconds, don't worry about it right now.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, when you go to put the things away that you're keeping and you're looking at it again, you may make a different decision.
So good. Guys, what questions do we have for Mill before we are wrapping up? And also Mill have an amazing free gift for you guys. So please, you're also welcome to get on mute to ask the question because you have the time now to get free support, free coaching from Mill. That is a one lifetime because that is so extraordinary.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks very much for showing up for yourselves. My free gift for you all today is I am the author of a book called Freedom from Clutter, the guaranteed foolproof step-by-step process to remove the stuff that's weighing you down. And we know it's not about the stuff, right? But I don't want you to go buy it on Amazon because what's going to happen?
It's in the
It's going to
chat.
be clutter on your shelf. So I'm just going to give you the whole thing for free. It's not a little PDF. It's an entire book that I wrote. It's over 130 pages. Go download it, right? And if you read the whole thing or you can skip to the back, there's a way that you can get a free coaching call with me in the back of it. So download the book.
Oh,
It also puts you in my community. And once you're in my community, I'm teaching workshops and things all the time. So, and any email that you get from me, you can just hit reply and it comes directly to me. I'm happy to jump on a call with you at any time. So
yeah.
excited for you guys to show up for yourself and be here for yourself today. So give yourself a pat on the back for that. Kudos for being here. That's the first step in the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
100%.
excited to talk to any one of you that you want. And if you have questions before we jump off, I'm happy to answer any questions before we wrap up. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy, Shannon. Glad you were here.
The link is in the chat, guys. So please click on them so you get it. And also please share it with people you know in your community. If you have someone you know that is working on it or think about it or are in it, please send the link so that we support each other to growth and to really get our wisdom out there. Because we, as a women, we get to stand together. We get to support each other on our next level. We get to stop to say, maybe someone jump over to her. That is you living in fear. You get to serve whatever you get to serve with everything you get to serve them with. And if they say no to you, be blessed by that because you are just around people that choose you as you choose them. And if a person chooses to say goodbye to you, it is a blessing.
Yes. Amy, did you have a question? I saw you came off mute for a second. You'd come off mute for a second.
Oh, I was just going to say, I can share that link to other people. The book
Yeah.
link.
Anybody. Yeah, that link is always
cool.
live. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, thank
Please
you.
don't.
That'd be amazing.
And guys, if you need information on Mill that was back in your newsletter, you're also welcome to join my personal Facebook page. That is all the information you need about Mill. That is the last post I post. So please take that so that if a person in your life needs a little bit more detail about who is this amazing lady that you have just listened to, please go copy that link and send that to someone else so that you get a little bit taste of who is this. You're also welcome to give this interview to that person in this Christmas time. We get to give each other healing and love and really create a space for healing for us women because we get to be around people that is doing the work. And one thing I'll say to you guys that's seen this video and to you that's live with us, why I will choose Mill as I will always choose Mill is because she is doing the work. Like she is in the gym with other coaches that is doing the work. She are never stopping. It's a little bit sometimes intimidated because she's just like going out there. It's like, oh, I get to be, I'm on the train with you, girl. So she's already in the gym. She's already a new side of herself. She's not afraid to dig deeper in herself. And that is something I really honor about Mel, that I really wish more people to do, something I need when I was 27, someone that was honest, someone that's not afraid to go deep, that was not afraid to really show the lights in someone else, no matter where the person is, and see the person for being, instead of seeing the person for all the emotions and thought that's going, like really seeing the living being of the spirit that's in the human. So I really invite you to go to Mel, because she will always take the stance next to your shoulder, no matter what that gets to be done. She's there with you, and she will never let go of you. When you're committed, she will not let go of you. So choose her and go to link and be part of her community, because she will be your backbones and be your shoulder to shoulder in crime. When you need someone the most to go to, that will never judge you. No matter what you say to her, she will never judge you, because I can be a drama queen. They'll know that, like, I can be a huge drama queen with my big emotions, and I get to choose to go with that to someone that hold the space for me. Because if I choose to give that space to someone, and the person do me wrong or judge me or say that please don't say that, it's just emotion, it's just a thought, like, let me express that, because there's nothing wrong with it. Mill will 100% hold the hands out and hold you high and see you through all the clutter that's coming out of your mouth. As I've done a few times with Mill, like all the clutter that come out, like she is seeing through that and see, oh, who is this being that is in front of me? And that takes skills to be that person, to be honest.
I love you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And you're not a drama queen. You don't get to label yourself that, because that implies permanence, right? We don't label ourselves anything.
It is
No.
what I will see is just like, it is a label, because as I work with emotion, there is nothing wrong and right. Like, what is the power to be a drama queen? That is a person that is not afraid to express herself.
Okay, I love
So
it.
for
Okay, great.
me
As long as you have a
to
good
say,
connotation on it. Great.
I
Okay.
have good connection on it. Also to be weak, just like Tanja, why do you call yourself weak? When I choose to be weak or feel weak, I have the opportunity to ask someone for support. I'm asking someone
Yes.
for support. I have the opportunity to be vulnerable. There's nothing wrong to be weak. There's nothing call it out. There's something wrong with you saying there's something wrong with it. Because there's nothing wrong with emotion. It is emotion, and there's so much wisdom to learn that power, that being. What is the power in to be a crown queen for me too is like allowed to express myself, allowed to be
Yes.
a promoter, allowed me to say funny things, allowed me to be colorful, just allowed me to just be all over the place, and I freaking love it. That is
Yes.
my
And the
space
meek will
sometimes.
inherit the earth, right?
That's it.
Yes. Awesome. I love you so much. I
I love
appreciate
you
you.
too. So guys, please go to link, take that link, share it with people you have in your life, because this is the thing. That's why I also love Mill is the first speaker, because that is the thing I wish everyone to go to the first before transformation, because transformation cannot happen if you're not choosing clutter your life. I'm just saying that.
Transformation happens from the inside out
Exactly.
only.
Exactly. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you so much, Mill, to be a beautiful friend, a person I can call a friend, a powerful leader in my life, and being who you are in life. That is a huge blessing. And I freaking love you, girl, from up to the moon and back again. You are so valuable, and I appreciate you so much, my love.
Yes. Likewise, my friend. Likewise.
Yeah. Thank you
Mwah.
so
God
everyone
bless.
to watching, and please go back. You will receive a newsletter soon with all the information from Mill and also this link. So please share it. Be in this Christmas spirit to share Mill's wisdom, to share this interview with the people that come to you, so that we get this missed out stronger as when we get to hold each other high and spread the message and share each other's love to others. So thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful Christmas and Merry Christmas, and see you everyone soon again. Bye, Mel.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.